Hey guys, I'm going to upload a tutorial today on a dry fit. This is something that I normally do anytime I'm preparing to apply a leather wrap. A dry fit will let you check the wrap first, make sure that your coils are the way that you want them to overlap, and also that your length is correct. When you receive the wrap, it will already have a taper on it, which makes it a little easier. This one that we're going to apply today is an aged black. What I do when I first start for the dry fit is I'll put a small piece of tape on the end of the leather. That just helps to hold it in place. You don't have to fight it while you're lining it up on this particular hilt. Now this one that we have here has got about an 8.5 inch area here that will require to be covered, and if I didn't mention before, this wrap that I got is about 52 inches, maybe a little bit more. Now when you first start, your taper will allow you to just lay this leather down just in the angle and the flow that you have, but leather is a little flexible, and on this first coil here, if you want to make any changes to the way that it overlaps, if you want to bring it up a little or bring it down, you can do that there. Don't be afraid to pull your leather a little tight. That will help it lay. It'll help it stretch and form to your hilt. I normally will overlap about 1/4 inch. Everybody has their own preference. Some people will do it uneven, some people will do it 1/8 inch. A lot of that depends on the hilt or the design that you're doing. Again, don't be afraid to pull the leather and bond it. You may have to back out and come back around to make sure that you're lined up correctly. And I'll just go through the flow here. You can watch as I do that, and I'll keep an eye on my overlap, my coils here. If I need to raise up and pull back over, then I can do that. A lot of people will reach out wide and they'll stretch that way and pull it around the hilt, and that's fine. That'll give you more leverage if you need to stretch. If you do close with your thumb and your fingers close to the hilt, you may find that you can follow the line a little better. And we'll try to keep the angle and make sure that we're laying flat up here so that we don't have a pucker in the leather as we come around the coil. And again, anytime if you're pulling and you get out of line, just raise up and lay it back. You can look at your previous coil or your overlap there to make sure that you're kind of lined up the way that you want. This particular leather, as I said, is 52 inches, and it'll be a little bit long for this job, but I picked it specifically so I could show you how you need to mark this, and you can recut it just to fit for this hilt or whatever hilt that you may be doing. You may be working on a hilt where you don't need this much leather. Now this end is already tapered, and that will kind of come in handy too, but as you can see, we're a little bit long. We need to fall right in here, so I'm going to peel this back just a little bit, and I'll make a mark right there. That doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be something that you can follow. I'll lay the hilt out on the table. We've got a mark right there. Your leather will come with a template, which will help with this. I'll lay a template on there. The first mark that I'll do here, or the first cut rather, is just right here at the end. We'll square that back off. And then I'll reapply my taper. Now I'm using a cutting wheel, a roll cutter, people call them different things, and a mat. If you do a lot of leather application, those are really handy to have on hand. So if we've done this right, or if we're close, we can peel back and line back up. We should fall somewhere right where we want to. And as you can see, I've overshot just a little bit, so I'll bring a few back, and we'll lay that to where to line up at the end. Again, there's no perfect or right way to do that. You just want to lay your leather so when you get to the end, and right there is where my taper just fell, and you'll wrap it all the way around the end, and if we've done that right, you should fall right over that leather. And you can take another piece of tape. I use painter's tape. It's just tacky enough to hold your leather. We'll hold it there, and then we can give everything a look over and see that it's lined up right about where we want it on both ends. And that's how you do a dry fit. I'll upload another video or a tutorial with a full application when we apply the hilt. Okay guys, thanks for looking.